What is up, people of the internet? It is your trailer scrub guy coming at you with your first trailer review of the channel. Like I said, I went and seen The Invisible Man this weekend. Overall, I'd give it about a 6 out of 10. It could have been a lot better. One thing I did notice is there was a lot of scenes in this trailer, not in the movie. I don't know if they were just like misdirects or if they were just cut on the editing room, left on the editing room floor for some reason. I don't know. But I don't know. Obviously, this will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, maybe you shouldn't watch it. Um, but if you have seen it, let me know what you thought of it. Be sure to comment, like. If you want to see more of these, subscribe. I'll probably post like 1 or 2 videos a week, whether it be reviews or scrubs. I'm actually seeing an early screening of Bloodshot this week or next, so that'll probably be the next review. But we shall see. But yeah, let's get into this trailer scrub. Spoiler warning for the final time. But let's get into this trailer scrub. So I'm gonna assume this is the beginning of the movie. That is exactly right. This is literally exactly how the movie starts. You'll probably have like a few fillers of him like being abusive or controlling or things like that. But then I'm assuming this is gonna be the first night, and her deciding to leave. So this is probably early on in the movie. It is within the first 2 seconds of the movie. You get a nice little or like opening scene where it like flashes the water and it hits like invisible stuff. But yeah,
Adrian?
making sure he's asleep. See me, that would definitely wake me up because I'm a light sleeper. So maybe not the best idea. But I like that bedroom. It's a huge bed or huge bedroom, and a little itty bitty. You got 2 end tables, I guess, but
He was a sociopath. He said that I could never leave him. He controlled how I looked and what I wore.
so she's clearly been thinking about this for a while. You can tell from this she has a bag hidden, and that looks like the closet because it looks like, yep, that was the closet. It has it hidden, and it actually plays an important part in later on in the movie too. Right there, this is where I realized you guys can't see my mouse on the screen. And right above, right by her head, it looks like the clothes.
Then it was.
And she's got a map of, is that Europe? San Rachel. Social security card that. Oh, this is so wrong. It's Santa Monica, and it's in California, not Europe. I was way wrong. I'm assuming is a new identity, or maybe she got a new identity, or she just has her stuff packed for that reason. Hey, I finally got it. It was just her social security card. It never really played a part, but
Controlling when I left the house. And eventually, what I thought.
so this is all that same night, I'm assuming. Like I said, this is probably gonna be early on, because otherwise, if you do this halfway through the movie, what are you gonna do the first half of the movie? This is probably gonna be a jump scare in the movie. You can tell by the sound that's about to happen. Yep, I actually seen this with my 12-year-old niece, and she jumped a few times. I just want to side note. I love the name Zeus for a dog, especially if it's a boy dog, because pretty much you're saying he's going to impregnate every single dog in the neighborhood, and then a bunch is going to happen. So I love the name Zeus for a dog, especially if you're going to like use him to breed. So that actually happened. Not when she kicked it over. That's a little bit of misdirect. That happened right at the beginning of the movie. Whenever because his arm was over her, and whenever she moved his arm off of him, he flipped over. So One thing I didn't mention, I like how she used like the cameras to look at the bedroom. That was cool. You don't see it in the trailer, but once again, that definitely would have woke me up. Um, so maybe be more careful if anybody's in this situation. So this is her leaving. She's planning to leave without a car. And interesting choice. I guess she's, I mean, you've seen in the trailer that she doesn't get away cleanly because the dog comes, but it's interesting she's deciding to walk instead of take a car. I'm pretty sure I misspoke and I meant the husband, not the dog, but with the way he was acting, I mean, he's a dog, so. And that's probably going to be another jump scare. The dog right there. It really wasn't. I mean, it was suspenseful, but it wasn't really a jump scare. But see, I don't know. I'm a huge dog person. I don't know if I could leave, even if it was like his dog. I don't know if I could leave a dog. I yeah. And the dog stays for in the house for forever. Like she comes back to the house later, and the dog is still there. Like who's taking care of this dog? Which you find out he's not actually dead, and he orchestrated all of it, and yada yada. But like the cops and everybody didn't think maybe we should take care of this dog. Like what? I drove 10 hour 20 hours in 48 hours to get my dog from my ex. So I don't know that I could leave my dog. Secret time. Even as recording this video, I am watching my dog in daycare right there, right now.
I'm sorry, I can't take you with me. I'm not gonna leave you with that thing on.
What is this? Is that a like bark collar, or is it a shot collar? Maybe. He can only go so far. Yep, he got. I got it. So she is literally climbing and then running into the woods. So I mean, this is like he has her a prisoner. It seems like. Which, I mean, maybe that's how it starts. Is I mean, he gets more and more control. She said he was controlling, but this is like more of a prisoner. Like she doesn't even open the gate. Maybe that's a sound thing, but to just, I mean, the car alarm's already going off, so might as well open the gate and not have to climb a wall. That's a strange way to me to open up to escape. And she's running through the woods now. So the way I took this in the movie is that she has her sisters come and rescue her in the middle of the night. You find out, but I have a feeling that she didn't go out the main gate, and that's why she climbed the fence. So I mean, it made sense because the woods are backed up to that, so a gate wouldn't drive into the woods. Nothing but a flashlight. Uh, Family rule is if you need a flashlight, you don't go. I think that doesn't apply to this because she clearly needed to get out in the middle of the night, unless he works, and she could have left during the day. But you find out he works from home, and I also realize how victim blaming this sounds. That isn't at all how I was expecting it to sound or how I meant it at all. Um, if you are in this situation, get out any way you can, day, night, call somebody. I'm gonna link some resources in the description. If you are in this situation, so you can reach out and get help because nobody should live in this situation for any amount of time. Don't think if you need a flashlight, don't go rule applies to this because she definitely needed to escape. So watching this, I definitely thought it was going to be him. That she doesn't even look at the driver. Like, that's a little weird, even if you didn't think it was him. But, I mean, I've taken Ubers, I've taken Lyfts. You always check, see who it is, because, I mean, you have no idea who that is. But, I mean, I guess she's in a hurry, so she's not worried about it.
For you.
So, that was misdirect, I feel like, on the trailer part, because that doesn't happen. You see her before, like as she is getting in, so you know it's not her. But as the car, there's a little bit while the car is driving up where you could think that it is the husband. Seeing the trailer, I knew it wasn't. But the people I went with my stepmom, my sister, my brother, and my niece. And my mom and sister both like, that's the husband. But I knew from the trailer that it wasn't. But yeah, this was not like a reveal that it was her. It was very apparent that it was her whenever she got into the car.
Okay?
And once again, another jump scare. Well, this may not be a jump scare, though, because you're actually seeing it, unless he just comes out of the black. And I mean, this is like a split second. But she, that's weird. She was covered before. She was covered before the glass broke. So I wonder if that's a continuity error, or if he breaks the glass on like the second try because he's there. So maybe she's like covering herself because he's already punched the glass once and it takes 2 times to break. But actually, he comes up and like beats on the window. Not, I don't think he's trying to break at the beginning. He's trying to like get her to stop, and that's whenever she covers, and then he breaks the glass and chokes her. And okay, I was about to say, at what point do you just drive off if you're the driver? Like clearly she's in distress. I don't care if you knew her, didn't know her, anything like that. If somebody comes and busts your window, you definitely just drive off. If you see somebody charging at it, I'm probably gonna take off. At least in that situation, and then drive a little bit. And I mean, it looks to be a pretty deserted road, so I mean, I guess she could have been the bad person, but why is he chasing her if she's the bad person? So I definitely would have taken off before that, I feel like, but I who still knows? have that mindset. Get back here! Good established shot. So this takes place in San Francisco. I love how movies do that. The Golden Gate Bridge, like the Space Needle, the Statue of Liberty, the White House, or like Capitol Hill, things like that, to so everybody knows. Like you clearly know this takes place in San Francisco now, and it does.
What happened to him?
So maybe no, I would still say it takes place, but this is probably a few days later, or a month or so later. She doesn't look that different, um, so they obviously didn't take too much time to jump forward. Um, but clearly he's dead, or so you think, or so they think. This is this scene, like this snippet, is different. But it's actually 2 weeks, so I was right in the middle. I was way under and way over, but it was 2 weeks. I feel like this whole movie takes place in about a month span, um, from the beginning of her getting out of the bed until the end. Whenever this scene takes place, actually, this scene is one of the last scenes in the movie. This is where he kills himself. So to throw it in there right in the middle of this, what you find out is the death, like him reading of the will, essentially, his brother reading of the will, essentially. It's interesting,
Daydreams.
and that is not the same scene either. That's about halfway through the movie, probably. And that looked like he was murdered. That is pills. The pills play is one way I feel like they could have did better. They definitely like hammered home that sleeping pills. She drugged him in the beginning to get away. That's why he was sound asleep. So I figured out why he didn't wake up whenever she said his name or the dog thing or anything like that. But the car alarm woke him up. But I mean, so I understand why it didn't wake him up. But then the sleeping pills are in the picture, in the crime scene photo, and right there because you find out that he brought her a sign that he was still alive. Those are she dropped whenever she was getting in the car with her sister. So that it didn't really play anything into it though. They didn't test the blood because it clearly would have been his blood from busting the window. They didn't test that. They didn't. I mean anything. So I I don't know. They didn't play the pills up the right way. I mean, it causes her to pass out in one point, but other than that, I mean, and that's like the reason she gets put in the insane asylum and things like that is because of the sleeping pills. But other than that, like they could have done so much more with it, and I feel like they left that unturned. It's right there, but that looks like, oh no, he's committed suicide, according to that. That's what it looks like. It looks like he slit his wrist. Graphic warning. I will put that in the caption in case there's any triggers. But that also says 32, which isn't going to mean anything for this movie, I'm sure. That means there's 31 other pieces of evidence in that house somewhere before they got to the body.
Didn't pay any attention to that movie.
That's
but
one heck
yeah.
of a staged crime scene. And then the pills. I wonder if those are her pills or if he took pills and slit his wrist. I don't know.
He's dead. Listen.
This is after she starts thinking he's alive. Then we figured out that's a cop friend. The black guy's a cop friend, and the girl is the sister. But this is towards the beginning. This is at the cop friend's house. Yeah. So this is towards the beginning of like whenever she first started to think that he's not dead, or that right after he dies, and she's starting to have doubts. So, girl on the right is the one that was with her in the other office. So I wonder who the left is, who the guy is. Maybe he was later on in the trailer, so maybe a friend.
Getting your freedom back, okay?
Never happened. She took a shower, but the handprint never happened. This is before the scene where she sees the crime scene photo. But yeah, never happened. The hand on the thing never happened. This is when he left the pills in the room because he was in there. But handprint on the wall or in the shower door never happened. I was so disappointed whenever I seen this scene. I missed it. That is probably one of the things I'm most looking forward to is to see the special effects that they do. Missed it again. To see the special effects, and I'm sure it's just a guy in a morph suit with like a green morph suit or a blue morph suit, but to see how well it's done, I guess I should say, because I mean you can have good CGI and you can have bad CGI. I mean from the trailer it looks like pretty good CGI.
He said that wherever I went, he would find me, walk right up to me, and I...
So I'm assuming bought a house. I'm gonna say this isn't like a month in, because I feel like a month in you would still be living with friends or family if you went through something like that. So especially if she just found out that he died, because that's a quick jump to go from living with him to escaping him to living on your own, and to be that callous to just walk out, especially if you believe that he isn't actually dead. She walks out because he is there, and she can tell. The door's open whenever she hears noises. But yeah, she's still living with friends. The cop.
be able to see him. Adrian is dead. He's
This scene, oh my gosh, this scene,
not dead.
and this I'm gonna say is about halfway to 3/4 the way through the movie. This is what gets her locked up in the insane asylum. But this scene, right after this line, I think actually, he kills the sister. Like he just slashes her throat in the middle of the restaurant mid sentence. Like I sat for at least 2-3 minutes. I mean, it was like so shocking. Great scene right here. Is probably towards the end because you can see her eyes, how sunken they are, like how tired and exhausted and just sick she looks. So this is probably towards the end, and if I remember right, it looks like that's the same clothes she was wearing in like where she was in the attic. I'm gonna assume that's the end piece as well. Yes, she was wearing the same clothes, but I was wrong about it being the end scene. So this is probably towards the end of the movie.
He has figured out a way to be invisible.
Yeah, so maybe that isn't her house. Maybe she was just home alone, and she's staying with a friend, um, and that's their house. Once again, this is in the fairly early on in the movie. Probably a fourth of the way in. Definitely would have woke me up. I'm an extremely light sleeper, so a bright flash. Like, I have Alexa turn on
My Alexa turned
my light for my alarm because a flash like that is going to wake me up. So, but it's interesting to see how people sleep. I wonder if that's how the actresses actually sleep, or if that's just how they were told. What's going on with her foot? Like, does she have like feety pajama bottoms? I don't know.
You never figure out.
So he took 2 pictures, and then she notices she woke up kind of angry, like she's seen it, but then it cuts. So maybe she sits there and like looks around the room and figures she's just imagining things, and then she decides to get the blanket. She wakes up scared because of a mannequin, which I would never have in my room. No, well, I'll pass. It's creepy. Or the sheet. See, like that is, it's definitely something in like CG, but that, it looks awesome. And that is like, you can see the outprint of, or the outline of the footprint, and you can see the other one right beside it. That's some good CGI. And she wakes up her friend. That makes sense. And this is, she's wearing the same clothes again as that night. So maybe this is like towards the middle. This is when things start happening, I'm assuming. And this is probably a couple nights. This is probably like her bedtime attire, I would say. So this is probably like a night or two later. Or
Are you okay?
so he has a daughter. Is that, you never actually seen the girl in the other bed, but she looks way too short to be curled up like that. She looked to be 5 foot at least. So maybe he's staying with him, and he has a wife. Hey Hazel. Speaking of my dog, maybe he has a wife and she was sleeping with what? No, go lay down. Maybe they were sleeping together or something. This is just a massively wrong assumption. It was the daughter in the bed, the same girl, and I'm terrible with heights, I guess, because I don't know, but yeah, no wife, anything like that. Lay down. But I don't know. I don't know who the daughter is. I'm assuming that's the daughter.
He's sitting in that chair.
And that she's looking sunken again, like she was at the table. So this is probably after the table conversation at the restaurant, but still, she's still. I mean, this is probably a good bit into. This is probably about halfway towards the end of the movie, probably about 3/4 the way. No idea, because this scene was cut. It was a great scene in the trailer, but they cut it for some reason.
Chair.
And like, do they not see that? Like, I would feel like that would make me at least go in touch or try to figure out, hey, there's somebody there, is somebody not there? Like, I feel like that should be the aha moment of, yeah, somebody is there. Like, this dude is crazy. And that is the same outfit she was wearing at the restaurant. So this probably takes place the same night. She probably goes to the restaurant, which, yeah, I can see this being the final scene. Her not believing her because the girl wasn't there, the guy was. So the girl not believing her, because and the guy may believe her now because he's seen him sitting there, and that may be who she's calling now, and she hears something. She calls her husband's cell phone, and it's ringing from in the attic. That was it. This is well before the table scene with the sister that the sister dies in. Um, yeah, this is after her husband invisibly smacks the daughter, and the friend and the daughter leave for the night because it looks like she just smacked the daughter. But I mean, at this point, if I think somebody's invisible, I don't think I'd go and check. I'd at least wait till a friend got there. But random keys. I'm sure that means something. Maybe she lost her keys and he took them. Nope.
No number. Surprise. This is 4:21 a.m. So this is probably the same night, maybe, but unless she has the black on
I went in
underneath
so
and she just
hard.
wore that because I mean it's January 30th. It's pretty cold, so. But I don't see the black underneath it. So I mean maybe those are on separate occasions.
I read way into this.
Yeah, that is the picture. And I don't see that outfit now underneath.
That's actually his phone.
This is definitely going to be a jump scare, I feel like. And you're giving it away in the trailer, which is weird.
This was still an awesome scene.
That right there is. But what is he? That's got to be a suit he's wearing. But as you can see, like the
Nailed it.
indents and everything like that. So that's got to be a suit he's wearing that reflects the light. I'm assuming. And that's going to be how it
Bunch of
comes
cameras,
out
but
when
yeah.
he does it. So he can't wash all that off? And I mean, I don't care how long she was up there. So, and that's what it looks like. He used the water because you can see the paint in the sink. So, I mean, it looks like they're gonna say he washed all of it off, and that's crazy.
That's something even my brother commented on. The movie's maker didn't understand how paint works. In the sink, it looks more like milk that he washed off. But yeah, it's a mask that he could have washed the face off, but like his shoulders and everything, no way he washed all that paint off.
Where are you? Show yourself!
Surprise.
And I bet you that's a voiceover from somewhere else in the movie. Because, like I said, I mean, I just don't see him washing all that off. I think that like he'll have his pants covered or his shoulder or something like that covered where she can see him a little bit. But this is definitely. I feel like this is definitely the end of the movie. Well, I say that he is clearly grabbing her and completely invisible. So I'm wrong, but I don't know how they're gonna explain him washing all that off in the sink.
They don't.
So this is going to be the final fight. Um,
I went in so hard for this. No.
the girl or the guy, and had like let him know that she was hearing things, and they're going to come over and save her. I feel like this is at his house from the beginning, and they clearly have a no-knock warrant. You can see from the battering ram on the far right, and they are fully like going into assault something. So I wonder what causes that.
He was kidnapped.
And that's her running in those same clothes to a police car, it looks like. So maybe this is towards the end, or maybe she like wounds him or freaks out at the other house, and then she goes back to meet him on his home turf or something, and she sets it up for the cops to be there.
So that's right to an extent. That's sort of what she does in the end. But no, like this scene where her running doesn't exist. It doesn't. Um, but she takes a lift to the house after the paint scene, after the scene right before this, where she just jumps the paint on him, and finds another suit and hides it, which comes into effect in the final scene whenever she kills him in the suit and is invisible. Um, and the cops is whenever he was kidnapped. Um, you find out his brother did it, and she kills the brother in the end.
I wonder if the guy is a cop. Hey, she clearly doesn't think the guy's a cop, so we shall see
wrong.
which one of us are right, Hazel.
Let me.
I was right.
um, like dress clothes there. See, he has a cut up, so maybe he clearly believes her because he says let her help. So I wonder if this is after the fight where she poured paint on him, and he did come over there and got busted up in his nose, and so now he believes her.
No, this is after another fight. Um, in the same house though, where he's actually the brother is dead. Um, and now he's saying, "Hey, let us do our job," and she doesn't really have any of it.
Yeah.
And this is the hospital, so maybe they do get the better of him, and he's hurt now. Yeah,
It's 100% misdirect. 100%. That's like a quarter of the way in the movie, and she has a panic attack or passes out.
because that design kind of looks like what was in the paint. So I wonder if this is towards like the middle before the scene in the house where she pours paint on him and he has these on there. And somehow he figured out to turn everything invisible. And it's not like a
It is in the middle, but no, it's not what he was wearing. That's not even him.
has it too. Has the bandages so like he's burnt or something, it seems like. So maybe they burn the house down? And that's him at the police station taking out cops. Um, so I would say this
So the psychiatric hospital.
she's running out to the cop car.
You can't.
And that was him. That was him after this or before this scene taking a beating, which I would assume is probably the scene where she poured paint on him. That's going to be my guess.
Nope.
Help me.
And he's going after the girl to the daughter. Secure Treatment Center, Santa Monica. And so who's driving the car?
Some random person's driving the car. She just shoots them. Like, what? She just shoots somebody driving a car to steal their car.
Who has the gun? Is that her with the gun? And nobody, the invisible man driving the car? I don't know where this scene would fit in.
Surprise.
Oh, okay. I bet you, because this looks like an insane asylum or psychiatric ward. I bet you she gets like committed, and this is after this scene. The car crash was after this scene, and she gets like committed, and he comes for her in there, and she was expecting him, and she kills him then. And maybe he turns back invisible, or there's just a random pool of blood. February 28th. But that is it. Um,
So there was the first trailer review. Like I said, I was disappointed with how many scenes they cut, but it was overall a good movie. I don't have a problem with it. I recommend it. I mean, see it on like a $5 Tuesday if you have it around you. I don't know if I'd pay $8, $9, $10 for it. But I mean, it was a good movie. If you're just in the mood for a horror movie, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought. If you like these reviews, if you'd rather not do these, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, the usual. This is Trailer Guy signing off.